A new adventure comes to Sea of Thieves, and it's become a team deathmatch paradise. Hey, you beautiful buccaneers, Falcore here. So the aptly named Hunter's Cry released, a chance to finally go and save Merrick from the clutches of the Dark Brethren. This adventure, unlike anything seen before, puts 5 crews into the same shared environment outside of the main game world, to work together and climb the dark Sea Dog Spire to save Merrick from the Dark Brethren. It all sounds good on paper, right? Apart from one aspect. You can kill each other and sink each other. And of course, that's exactly what people are doing. PvP in the main game world of Sea of Thieves has always been the driving force for essentially the gameplay curve of the entire game. Some people think that grabbing loot and selling it without any worry is the main focus, but without the PvE aspect of Sea of Thieves, there is no real reason to PvP. Sure, you will occasionally get sunk with nothing on board or spawn camped at an outpost before even starting, but hey, salt happens. That's what the scuttle button is for. But the actual gameplay curve in Sea of Thieves has always been tying PvE aspects into PvP aspects. You either stack the loot and get hunted, or hunt the loot stackers. Occasionally you will find friends along the way, you'll alliance up and take on harder foes, or you'll do everything in your power to avoid the foes. This is what the game is always about, the constant unknown factor of every adventure. Are you going to succeed, or are you going to fail terribly? Like the saying goes, you cannot have an adventure without danger. In the main game world, this works well. The PvE and PvP complement each other nicely in most cases. Sure, sometimes you'll have a negative experience, and other times you will have a positive experience, but that really is the driving force behind the game. But then plop open crews into close proximity to each other, where no loot is at play, give them the ability to kill each other with no respawn time whatsoever, and give them a game mode which is essentially a timed King of the Hill, and then only give people 3 weeks to complete it, and you have one huge recipe for disaster. Now, I often criticize the developers for making some questionable content where the gameplay loop is concerned, like underwater shrines that can take up to 45 minutes on your first try, meanwhile leaving your boat completely unguarded from other players, or miniature forts that take 7 minutes to complete and don't really offer any changes to the gameplay whatsoever. They're not really negatives to the game, they add extra variety for the player, but they're missed opportunities to become so much more than they are. But hey, it is what it is. But with this adventure, the developers have flat out made a huge mistake. I simply cannot fathom their reasoning behind it. At which point during the development process was it not considered that throwing a bunch of crews together in a tight space with no death penalty to work together on a main goal, giving them only 3 weeks to get it done, but then also giving them the full ability to kill each other and sink each other was a good idea? I get it. The slogan for Sea of Thieves is tools, not rules. But that's the focus of the main game world. There is no loot to be gained. There is no thieving to be done. There is no commendation or milestones or reward for killing other people. The gameplay within this adventure is simple. Light the beacons, get to the top of the tower, save Merrick. And PvP aside, the narrative of work together is ruined by the fact that 9 times out of 10, you join the session where it's seconds from completing and you go to a black screen with a pirate lord telling you what a good job you've done. Dude! I didn't do anything! Going back to the tools not rules slogan this game is well known for, I do fully realize that the developers have given us the tools to settle our differences, to try and talk ourselves out of situations. And in the main game world, it can often work. And if it doesn't, war breaks out. And if you are the victor, you can sail free with the spoils. But in this game mode, there is never a resolution to your negotiations. If a crew is trying to kill you, sure, you can kill them back, but boom, they're back the second they hit the floor. Sure, you can sink their ship, but their ship respawns about 500 yards from the sink, and within seconds they're back again, and there is no way to get rid of them. The only thing you can do is quit out and try again in a server that will hopefully have like-minded crews. But at this point, for most players, they've either lost hope of ever doing it, or if they're new, they've seen possibly the worst side of what this game has to offer, and they're already starting to regret that Game Pass subscription. And let me just point one thing out, that the people who are going around killing everyone, yeah, it's annoying, annoying, I get it, but they're not actually doing anything wrong. If Rare wants to add tools not rules to this environment also, then team deathmatching people coming through the portal is not the fault of the players doing the killing, but the fault of Rare for not making the correct choice. And it's not like they were not warned about this occurring, because they were. Boy oh boy were they warned. Why not just completely remove the utterly pointless phantoms that have a constant respawn mechanic which everyone jumps over anyway, and then just make this game mode function like the Ferry of the Damned, where you simply cannot pull out any weapons. You literally have people like myself right now going into this adventure essentially becoming Batman, hunting out crews that are ruining the experience for people and making sure they can complete this adventure before the time runs out. So essentially, Rare have created organic admins that are not being paid purely because they made a poor choice. And that's exactly what this is, a poor choice. Rare, you have created and crafted a world for the most part where PvP players and PvE players get along just fine. The PvP players know that not everyone is interested in being hunted, and the PvE players know that sometimes they're going to lose their loot. You have created tools that complement both playstyles and allows people to generate their own content. But then add an adventure system that is time limited, and time again you add mechanics that essentially force people to play together. If you want people to work together as part of the narrative, then force people to work together by adding a mechanic that complements this gaming experience. In an adventure such as this one, a simple / command to turn off friendly fire is all that was needed to encourage people to finish the adventure in peace, and in the process, have a fun gaming experience. When this adventure works and you have like-minded crews and you all start at the very beginning, all of these things are very rare, the adventure is a great experience. Very short, but a great experience. Rare, you have created a narrative about a very loved member of the Sea of Thieves world. You have played with our emotions by not only threatening us the loss of Golden Sands, but then also killed off and kept this NPC captive. You have been creating a driving force within the community to go and save him. And then right on the finale of this adventure series, where the collective community are ready to end this all and finally save their friend, you completely ruin it for mostly everyone involved with a rash and pointless mechanic that you were warned about time and time again. It's ironic that there is only one silver lining throughout all of this. This game mode is great for TDM.